Howdy, and welcome to Book Your Give Here. We're Travel That Gives. I'm Lulu Lima, your chief travel guru. I hope this episode of Dream Now, Travel Later inspires you to travel, and I invite you to give us the opportunity to help plan your next memorable trip. So grab your popcorn and enjoy.
I wanted to introduce you to Kim Riddle today from Aruba Tourism. She is my local contact, and she is going to share with us all of the beautiful things about Aruba. Woohoo! We can't wait to get to there. And it's not that far from you guys on the East Coast. There's a lot of direct flights, especially out of JFK for all of my New Yorkers. And for those of us in Texas, there are plenty of opportunities to go through Houston or Dallas. So yes. With that, I'm going to give the floor over to Kim so she can introduce herself and we can kind of take it away to Aruba.
Thank you, Lulu. I'm so thankful that you gave me the opportunity to come and talk to everybody today. As you mentioned, I am with the Aruba Tourism Authority just for a short time now, 22 years, and I love our One Happy Island. I'm like all of our repeat visitors. Once you go to Aruba, you're hooked, and we want you and your visitors to come down, and you'll see for yourself. Once you come to the island, you're going to come back time and time again. So, yeah, exactly.
So you have a presentation that I'm going to share on the screen, yes. And I'm going to. There it is. And so here we go. So we're together while apart. And so this is all about our Dream Now, Travel Later series. And we're getting closer to that travel later piece. So really excited. So with that, I'm going to move the slideshow on. And let's see if my computer will be nice to me. Here we go. And it's thinking. It knows it's Friday, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about geography. So
exactly.
Since that conversation with flights, right?
Well, and before we get to that, if we could back up just a little bit there, I want to briefly discuss a tiny bit about Aruba before we get into our location. If you'll go back to the first slide, you'll see our logo. For this duration while we are separated, we took our logo and we even separated our logo to signify the social distancing that we're doing at this time as well. So just like everybody else on island, we are practicing the same social distancing that everybody else is. We're getting the island ready. We've been under the curfews and having the shelter in place just like everyone else. So we want to make sure that the island is ready when it's safe to travel again. And just like you've heard around the world and other locations, nature is thriving and taking advantage of our beaches not being as filled and as occupied. And of course, right now is turtle nesting season. We actually have 4 different breeds of turtles that nest in Aruba, so they're enjoying the extra opportunities to be nesting without all the extra people around. So we're having all the nesting already taking place right now. Nesting season actually goes all the way through September, and hatching season is from May through November. So you're still going to have the opportunities to come down and see those turtles that hatch in Aruba. So you're not missing out on anything. You're still going to see it.
I remember being in Aruba years ago, in October-ish, November-ish, and really experiencing that. And that was it was just so amazing. There's no other words other than saying amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool now we can talk about where we're located. Exactly. Yeah. So we're such a tiny island. I had to put that long, big arrow there for you so you can find us, because our location is so important. Lulu already mentioned, we're not that far really from the East Coast, and we're a lot closer than you might think, even from the Texas area. So what amazes a lot of people is if you look at our flying times, it's really only 4.5 hours from most places. So whether you're flying from Houston or New York, it's 4.5 hours because of where we're located. You're either flying straight south or with that, cut across down to the island. So you've got 4.5 hour nonstop flights out of Houston, 4.5 hours out of the New York area, whether it's Newark, JFK, LaGuardia. I bolded some of those cities because as airlines start flying again, of course, they're not going to be able to fly everywhere all at once. So they're going to have to slowly bring back on flights to different destinations. So we feel the ones that I have bolded, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte, Atlanta, Newark, JFK, Boston, are going to be the first ones that come on board. What that magical date is going to be, we still don't know. It all depends per city when those cities here in the US are getting up and running. So we're just on that waiting. And our borders, like I said, will be ready when the US is ready.
That's awesome. And that'll be about phase 2, everybody. So if you haven't read the information regarding when things are going to open up, they're non-essential travel, which is what, even though we think it's essential because it's all about wellness and breathing, right? They have classified it under a phase 2. So we do need to kind of keep our eyes open and our ears to the ground so that we can really hear about phase 2 options.
Exactly. And it will be coming sooner than we realize. And what's great again about our location, since we are so far south, we are one of only 3 islands outside of the hurricane belt. So we don't have to worry about those summer and fall storms. So we already know that so many people had to postpone their spring break or their Easter trips or even some of the summer trips, unfortunately. So if you are looking to reschedule those trips in the fall, you don't have to worry about again having a heavy hurricane season or something like that and having to postpone again. So it's that safe destination, constant trade winds keeping the island temperatures in the mid 80s year round. You also have only 16 to 20 inches of rainfall a year. So we've actually been named one of the sunniest destination in the Caribbean. So you can actually come down here and not have to worry about having a rained out vacation after you've been locked in your homes for so long. You can get out and really enjoy that sun and the fresh air. So it's that great destination in that regards.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really easy to do social distancing even on that small island.
So most definitely, yes. But even though, we are that small island, there's still so much to do. That's where we differ from a lot of other destinations. We're not just a flop and drop. It's that destination where you want to get out and explore because again, you've been at home. I think there's going to be a lot of pent up energy that people are going to want to get out and explore. They want to go on vacation and do things and not just sit at the resort possibly. So we do have all of your all-inclusives because believe me, we're used to our happy hour maybe a couple of times a day right now. So we want to... Right? I mean, come on, we probably drink a little bit more now than we did before. So we are have all happy hour, all of the all-inclusives available, but you are going to go off property and you get to easily explore the destination because it is a safe island. There's nobody on the streets or beaches selling items, asking for handouts or wanting to braid hair and all of that. So it's relaxing in that regards, but it's easy to get around the island and communicate and interact with the locals because everybody speaks your language, whether it's English, Spanish, Dutch, Papiamento, and it's not uncommon for people in the tourism sector to speak a 5th or 6th language. Papiamento, the local language, is actually made up of 6 different languages. They have to speak 4 languages to graduate from high school. So it's just easy to communicate. Everybody, takes the US dollars on island. They price things in US dollars. The local currency, the Aruban florin, is fixed and tied to the US dollar. So it's just easy throughout the destination.
Which is super awesome. And these beaches, one of the things that I loved, my sister has Downs, and it was so easy for me to bring her to the beach and her not be afraid of the waters and everything else. And so if you have little kids or things like that and you're afraid of an undertow or something like that, it's not something you have to worry about because this is just a very calm water.
Exactly. Especially where the hotels are located, that western side of the island, there's a reef that's further out. So it protects it. That's why you don't have the wave action there. There's none of those undertows like you mentioned. So it's great for families. And, even though the resorts are pretty much in two different beach areas, the Palm Beach, Eagle Beach area, you can come to places like you're seeing here where you've got secluded beach areas. So since we are so used to having that social distancing, like you mentioned earlier, you can still find those hidden little coves, those hidden little beaches, and you can still sit there and be on these quiet beaches and find a remote area. Just look at that breathtaking views, the multiple shades of blue, feel the ocean breezes, breathe that in, listen to the little lap of the water coming in. And if you close your eyes, can you kind of start feeling that right now? Just hear that little bit of a water coming in, feel the ocean breeze. Soon, we will be doing this again soon. It's a great wellness destination, so perfect for those people who want to just get away for wellness. So whether you're into the families and looking for that, again, perfect for families because of no undertows, plenty of activities, to do as well. So,
and so there's always a great opportunity here in terms of, the properties are very close together. We have a little video that we're kind of showing you, so you can easily see how to get around the island, right?
Correct. Yeah, it just reminds you there's so much to do. So whether you're into your water activities, we've got all the scuba, the snorkeling, your windsurfing and kiteboarding, you can be active, even your topside attractions, and exploring the island, whether you're going out, in your escorted tours. Of course, Lulu can take care of all of that for you, or just rent a car for the day and see it on your own. It's so easily accessible. You can do this. You don't need to necessarily do the escorted snorkel trip. We have a lot of locations where you can walk in from the shore and do some great snorkeling. So if you've got really little ones and you might not want them to be on the party booze cruise snorkel trip, then you might want to rent the car for the day, which Lulu can take care of for you. And you can go down to Mango Halto and have some great snorkeling right there where you walk in and walk out. Again, maybe for an elderly person, getting on and off the boat might be a little more difficult, out at the sea. So there's more opportunities where you can easily do this throughout the destination. And again, it's safe to do so. And she's more than capable of taking care of that and arranging that for you.
Yep. And just so you guys know, I've been to the island. I've driven on the island. So it's been a really great exploration. I've had an opportunity to see the lighthouses and a little cave. And so it's just, again, opportunities where you don't have to go very far. There's still adventure options. There's, and the wildlife, you see it right on the beach, and everything else. So, and even within just kind of going into town and so forth, it's great. There's also a lot of water sports that you can do. And so we can prearrange some of those, or once you get to destination, if you go, hey, I wasn't thinking of doing this before, like jet skiing or something like that, we can certainly organize a lot of that.
Exactly. And we do want you to get off property because, where the hotels are, you've got those beautiful beaches, but then that northeastern side of the island, you've got a different shoreline. Look at this image here. That's what the northeastern shoreline looks like. It's raw, it's rugged, it's wild. It's these thundering waves crashing up against a coral shoreline. So maybe it looks a little bit more like Cabo to some people, but definitely you need to get off property so you can see how diverse the topography in Aruba is. The interior of the island, you'll see on this next slide here, is just filled with the cactus and the rock formations, because again, we only get 16 to 20 inches of rainfall a year. So as you're driving around the island, that's what you're going to be seeing. You have a lot of that desert terrain. And so it's just beautiful in its own regard to be able to see this kind of a topography on such a small island. Again, with this only being 70 square miles, if you put that into perspective, it's about the size of Cozumel. Us Texans know that, real easy comparison. Were you up in New York? We're smaller than Manhattan. So it's a tiny island. So it's simple to get around the destination. But again, the diversification of the topography is very unique. So definitely we like people to go and explore the destination. Some of the ways you can do it is, again, renting your own vehicle or doing the UTV tours, go off-road where the tour buses can't take you. It's a great way to be able to see everything throughout the entire island. We also have horseback riding, so go by horseback to see a lot of the different terrain that we have, or hiking trails, mountain bike trails, where you can go through the Aracock National Park, which is just beautiful in its own as well. We have horseback along the beach areas, or through the national park in many areas. So you'll have that on this next slide that we have. So beautiful terrain, that's Bocaqueto right there. So nice. And then of course, we've just so many different options for you. Have all your cultural aspects that you can check out. Come into downtown Oranjestad, which is just beautiful and alive with all the Dutch architecture. Further south is San Nicolas. San Nicolas has actually been named the street art capital of the Caribbean. For the past 4 years, we've had street art festivals. And so Forbes has named us the street art capital of the Caribbean. We've had international and local artisans who have been painting down there. We've got over 30 different murals. So if you're into art, we want you to come and check this out. It's just incredible and alive. Lulu, have you had a chance to see the murals that are down there?
I have, and they're absolutely spectacular. So, and especially those of you guys who just do art as a hobby, you can actually, it feels very lifelike when you're right there with those murals, and it's and it feels like, it's just it's an absolute full expression. I remember driving. So since there's only really one road to go up and down on, I remember just kind of taking some side streets, and I couldn't tell you what side streets they were, but it was just beautiful art. And it was mixed in with some great restaurants as well.
Exactly. That's what I was going to get to next. While you're down there, stop off at some of the restaurants that are local there in San Nicolas. It's authentic Caribbean food at local pricing. It's not your resort pricing. So definitely dine while you're down there in San Nicolas, which is great. Also, while you're down in that area, that's right there by Baby Beach. So this next image will show you what Baby Beach is all about. This is where your families hang out. That's the locals. They like to go there with the best family beach that we have in Aruba. There's a long distance that you can go out before you really get to like knee deep. I mean, it's really shallow, calm water.
I remember looking at some of these reef areas that are out here, and I remember I was still like, I wasn't even by my knees.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm short, so I'm only 5'1", and so guys, if you remember, I like to be a little adventurous, but when I'm with my sister, not so much. And she was right into this, so she loved it.
Yeah, it's a place you definitely need to come down to. Then as you're coming back, I highly recommend, if you haven't eaten there in San Nicolas, stop in Savoneta, which is about halfway back before you get to the airport. And Savoneta is where the local fishermen come in at a place called Zee Rovers. And we have a quick video here that shows you Zee Rovers. And this is fantastic. They bring in the local catch, and I don't know if you've got the sound on this one.
No, the video's
okay. The video didn't play on that one. No, okay, that's fine.
That's okay. I mean, there's so much food and it's so.
What's so great about Zee Rovers is literally you go up to a little window, you order fish or shrimp by the pound. And you are out on a deck. You see the local fishermen bringing in their catch right off of a boat, and everything is fried. So if you don't like fried, you don't order, you don't go there. But you're sitting out on picnic tables overlooking the water, and you can see them cleaning fish up over at the side over here. So it just came off of that boat, and they bring out your order on wax paper, and you know that it just came off of that boat that was cleaned up over here with the guys cleaning it up, and it is yummy, delicious goodness. They'll throw in some fried plantain, and it is so yummy, delicious goodness. Yeah, it is sea to table, boat to table. It is so good.
Yeah.
And that's called Zay Rovers, which means pirate in Papiamento. So you definitely want to do that. It's a great place to stop at. But yeah, we are a foodie's paradise. We've got about 250 different restaurants on island, a pricing and flavor for everyone. So whatever you're looking for, you definitely want to check out the cuisine. Even if you're doing an all-inclusive, you'll find yourself wandering off because there's so many choices to choose from. We even have bar hopping tours and culinary tours, that Lulu can help you with. She can pre-book some of those tours. I've got a slide here that kind of shows you the Kukukunuku tour, which actually has several of these different tours. It's my favorite tour on island. It's called Wine on Down the Road. 2 nights a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They pick you up at your hotel, take you to 4 fine dining restaurants, and you get a sample signature dish at each location, a glass of wine at each location. You actually start off at the first location with a glass of champagne as well. A sommelier is with you, talking to you about the pairing of the food and the wine, and then they take you to the next location and you do it all over again. It is hands down my favorite tour in Aruba, daytime or nighttime. And I'm a foodie, that's why. We have beer flights and bites where you're hanging with the locals, eating at open air local cafes and eating local food. We do a fusion of the world where you're eating different types of cuisine at each location. So Cuba's cooking and, an Aruban restaurant and different places like that. And of course, at Cuba's cooking, you're having the mojito. So lots of different options with those regards. Of course, we have your toes in sand dining as well. So you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to dine with your feet in the sand or toes in the water. We've got over 22 venues where you can do that. So
super romantic.
Yeah. If you have that special occasion, if you want to celebrate, whether it's just love in general, an anniversary, honeymoon, or maybe someone wants to pop a question, what better place to do that than out on the beach watching the sunset or underneath the stars at night? Somehow it just makes the food so much better when you're feeling the elements in the evening.
Hey, the best way to be connected to nature is to walk barefoot on the sand and into the water. So that is truly a great Zen opportunity. There's a dine around card that some of my clients have in the past used, and I've used it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We do have the dine around. It's at several different fine dining restaurants on island, and that is good for a 3-course meal. So it includes an appetizer, entree, dessert, coffee, tea, tax, and gratuities. And so it's a great opportunity to have it prepaid. So for those people who maybe are not at an all-inclusive, maybe they're doing the Hyatt or the Hilton, the Courtyard, but they still want to have some of the meals taken care of. Great way to, take care of something for a honeymoon couple coming down. It's an opportunity to be able to sample different restaurants on island and have it prepaid. Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. So, and here's a great way. Aruba is an awesome island for, maybe now after everybody can get together again, we can do some family reunions or just kind of, help the families get together again. Or even if you're working for a company and you want to do a company offsite, this is a great place where we can kind of get a lot of those things happening and wellness can happen for you as an individual, as well as for everybody who's joining you. So again, really great opportunities, and there's just so much evening fun to be had.
Most definitely. It's that destination where you can be as laid back as you want or as active as you want. Because there is so much that's offered with the destination, and airlift from, like you saw, so many different locations, and perfect weather.
Yeah.
Most of it.
So with that, I want to say thank you so much. This has been amazing. I'm going to bring us back now so that we can see ourselves. Yay. Hi, everybody. We're back. No more video. We're at the presentation. But like I said before, Aruba for me, Elbow Beach is one of my most favorite parts of the island. That's usually where I stay. I do like to plan your trips, not so much on an all-inclusive property, because I really want you to experience the island, which is why I asked Kim to talk about the dine around plan, because it really does have an opportunity for you to actually get a great sense of cultural immersion on the island and via food. Kim talked also about, and forgive me, I'm going to mispronounce the name of the restaurant for the seated table.
Zay Rovers.
Zay Rovers. Super, super great. Because even though I'm not the seafood eater, but I've had people in my party who have, and they absolutely raved about it because it was just an amazing experience. Just to be able to, literally, you can't get better than the catch of the day in front of you, so you can see it. It's super healthy. Yes, there's some fried foods involved. Okay, so we take away a little.
I don't know about healthy.
Okay, I'll give you that. But you know what? You kind of need a good balance, and you're on vacation, so you're gonna have a drink with it. But overall, fresh fish is really helpful for most people, and so that certainly will do it. And again, guys, this is all about an area where you don't have to worry about hurricanes. They're going to fly over them or around them to get to Aruba. So really great opportunities. I did have one question for you that sometimes has come up. And sometimes some of my clients would like to do day trips into Curacao or Bonaire. Is there a ferry that they can take?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So it's in the works between us and Curacao, but it's actually flights. So I wouldn't really plan just a day trip, but you can go overnight. But yeah, we do have lots of service between us islands.
Yeah, no, totally. And so it'll start coming. So, it's all things. We do have a question that actually came in. So whom should you contact to start planning a trip once COVID dies down? That would be me. Juanita, let's get together and let's chat. And so we can kind of get your trip in order. If you need a payment plan option or anything along those lines, we can start planning them now. So that way we can get you to that point, and your vacation will be paid in full or as close to full as possible by the time you get there. So certainly everything is doable. So with that, thank you again, Kim. This has been super amazing. I'm super, super thrilled that we got to talk about Aruba, and we're going to have you back, afterwards when everything is kind of open up again and we can be like, hey, now it's time to go explore, right?
Would love it. Definitely. Thank you for the offer, Masha Donkey, as we say in Aruba. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, happy Friday, and I'm ready to take your calls. Y'all know how to find me. Message me on Facebook, or you can message Magda if you are Magda's client, and we can either one of us will be able to help you and certainly put you on your next flight, because you need it. Wellness is important. So have a great weekend, and we will be in touch. Till next week.
Stay safe.
Yes.